Every time you speak too soon, you give away your power. Be honest, how many times have you excitedly shared a new goal? I'm going to lose weight. I'm writing a book. I'm finally learning that skill. And yet, just days later, your fire fizzles out. We think sharing our dreams creates commitment. But to the Stoics, speaking too early is the fastest way to kill momentum. In today's world where every thought becomes a post, every step becomes content, we must relearn an ancient, sacred art, the discipline of silence. And in this video, you'll find out why silence doesn't weaken your power. It protects it. So stay with me. This might just change how you chase every goal from now on. Lesson 1. Don't announce it, become it. The biggest trap isn't failure. It's false accomplishment. It's that little burst of pride you feel the moment you tell someone your plan before you've done a single thing to earn it. The human brain is wired in a curious way. The moment you say, I'm going to write a book, I'm starting a diet, or I'll meditate every morning, your mind tricks you. It gives you a dopamine hit, as if you've already done the work. You get early applause, and just like that, the fire dies down. That's why so many great plans fade quietly. They weren't destroyed by hardship. They were dissolved in premature validation. The Stoics understood this long before social media made oversharing a cultural norm. They didn't talk about becoming good. They became good, quietly, deliberately, without an audience. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. This is the warrior's mindset. It's not about broadcasting your goals, your hustle, your transformation. It's about sharpening your blade when no one is watching. So that when the time comes, you're not making noise, you're making impact. Because here's the truth. When you announce your goal too early, you expose it to criticism, doubt, distraction, even your own fear of judgment. And a dream that's still fragile doesn't need exposure. It needs protection. It needs time to mature in the dark. So the next time you feel that urge to post about your big plan, to announce your new chapter, try this instead. Write it down, fold it up, put it in your wallet, and just start. Let your results speak so loudly that one day someone looks at you and says, "Wait, when did you become this version of yourself?" And you smile not because you were hiding, but because you were becoming. Don't chase the applause. Chase the progress. The Stoic path doesn't begin with noise. It begins in silence. And from that silence, real power emerges. Lesson 2. Learn in silence. Don't let knowledge become performance. You finish a few pages of a philosophy book. You just watched a great video on personal finance, or maybe you've started meditating for the first time in your life. And then, almost like muscle memory, you reach for your phone. You want to share it. Tell the world, "Look, I'm growing." But here's the truth. Growth doesn't need a stage. It needs silence. Not because sharing is wrong, but because when your knowledge is still fresh, still forming, it's fragile, and once you put it out there, it's no longer just yours. Now it's filtered through opinions, judgments, comparisons, and performance. You begin learning not to change, but to appear changed. Not to understand, but to look smart. And that, my friend, is how true learning dies. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Epictetus. At first glance, that sounds harsh, but it's not an insult, it's a challenge. Can you grow without praise? Can you evolve without announcing your evolution? The Stoics believed the greatest changes happen when no one is clapping. They understood that transformation is an inside job. It's not content, it's not a caption, it's not a day one post. It's you, sitting alone with a new idea, wrestling with it, questioning it, applying it, failing, trying again. That process doesn't need an audience, it needs honesty. Because the moment you turn your learning into a performance, you stop building knowledge and start building a brand. And what's worse? The applause can become addicting. You'll chase approval instead of understanding, and soon you'll be quoting Stoics, but living like a showman. So next time you learn something valuable, try this. Keep it to yourself. Let it simmer. Let it shape your thoughts, your actions, your habits. And then, weeks or months later, when someone notices something different about you, they'll ask, "What changed?" and you'll smile, because the answer won't be in a post. It'll be in your presence. That's how the Stoics learned. Not to impress, but to become. Let the lesson live in you before you try to teach it to the world. Lesson 3. Use silence to stay untouchable. Have you ever shared a dream, a goal, or even a small idea and watched it slowly fall apart after someone laughed, questioned it, or even, helpfully, gave advice that made you second-guess everything? That hesitation you feel afterward? That sudden doubt creeping in? It's not weakness. It's proof that your idea wasn't ready for the outside world. Not yet. Because the moment you speak, you give people the coordinates of your mind, your fears, your plans, your hopes. And once they have those, they can influence you intentionally or not. A raised eyebrow, a sarcastic chuckle, a careless suggestion. That's all it takes to unravel something you were once so excited about. If you want to be free, learn to discipline your speech. Epictetus. The Stoics didn't see silence as passive. They saw it as armor. When you say nothing, you become untraceable, unshakable, untouchable. You move in shadows not to hide, but to protect what's still growing. Think of your goals like seeds. If you dig them up too early to show others what's sprouting, they die in the open air. They don't need attention. They need shelter, time, stillness. A friend of mine once set out to radically change his life, his health, his mindset, everything. But he didn't post a single update. He didn't even tell his closest friends. 6 months later, someone said, "You look different." He just smiled. That was enough. That's what silent power looks like. It doesn't seek approval. It doesn't need permission. It just is. And here's the truth. When no one knows what you're doing, they can't stop it. They can't criticize what they don't see. They can't sabotage what they don't understand. You owe no one your process, only your results. And when the time comes to show the world what you've built, you won't need to shout. You'll arrive, and your presence will speak louder than any announcement ever could. So if you feel the need to be seen, to explain, to prove, pause. Silence is not retreat. It's strategy. It's power. And it might just be your greatest protection. Lesson 4. Run your own race. Have you ever found yourself scrolling late at night, staring at someone else's highlight reel? Their perfect body, their new relationship, their dream job. And without even realizing it, you start questioning your own life? You didn't ask to compare, but envy crept in anyway. Quiet, uninvited, heavy. That's not just a bad habit, it's a soul disturbance. The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say or think or do. Marcus Aurelius. Comparison is the thief of peace, and peace is what you need to do your work your way. The problem is, the world wants you to move on their timeline. By 30, you should have this. By 40, you should be that. But what if your growth doesn't fit into their calendar? What if your breakthrough comes in year 6, not year 2? Every time you compare, you tell yourself, I'm behind. But behind what? There is no universal map, no final destination, only your direction and your pace. I once knew a guy named Ethan. No followers, no motivational quotes, no curated routines, just an old laptop, a beat-up desk, and a goal. He got up before sunrise, taught himself to code, failed quietly, tried again. No one was watching, no one was clapping. But one day, he got a job offer from a company he once idolized. Why? Because while everyone else was posting progress, he was making it. That's the Stoic way. Quiet work, zero noise, all substance. Comparison tricks you into thinking life is a race and that you're already losing. But you're not. You're on your own track. And if you stay in your lane long enough, keep showing up quietly, steadily, one day you'll look back and realize the people who looked ahead were just running in circles. Your only competition is who you were yesterday, and your greatest progress won't be seen. It'll be felt deep inside, a calm confidence, a grounded pace. So stop watching their road. Focus on your stride, because when you run your own race, you don't just finish strong, you finish free. Lesson 5. Build unshakable discipline. Have you ever woken up fired up, This is the day I change my life, only to find yourself back in the same patterns by day 3. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You just relied on emotion, not discipline. Motivation is loud. It screams, "Let's go," on day 1. But discipline whispers, "We're doing this," even on day 30 when no one's watching. Consistency is the foundation of virtue. Seneca. Real change doesn't start with a hype playlist or a perfectly color-coded calendar. It starts with one decision, to show up again and again, without applause, without perfection. Discipline isn't about going big. It's about going steady. A little every day, especially when the excitement is gone. There's a man I know named Leo. Not famous, not flashy. Just consistent. Every morning at 6 a.m., rain or shine, he walks around a lake, reads 10 pages, writes a reflection. He's done it for 12 years. He's published 2 novels, written 4 more. And when asked how he did it, he simply said, "I didn't stop." That's what most people miss. They think strength is intensity, going hard for a few weeks. But real strength is repetition. Getting up on the days when no one's cheering. Writing when your mind feels blank. Showing up when the mirror hasn't changed yet. In today's world, the danger isn't laziness. It's the illusion of progress. You film your workouts, but stop doing them. You talk about your goals, but forget to act on them. You post your routines, but lose the rhythm. Discipline is what cuts through that illusion. It says, stop performing, start becoming. Start small. Write 1 honest sentence. Read 1 page. Walk 5 minutes. And then do it again tomorrow. Attach your habits to things you already do. After coffee, journal. After brushing your teeth, read. Let it become a rhythm, quiet, simple, powerful. Because eventually, what you repeat becomes who you are. And when that happens, you won't need motivation. You won't need reminders. You'll just move forward with quiet strength. Discipline isn't loud, but its results echo. Lesson 6. Form habits quietly. You've just started a new routine: early workouts, journaling, cutting sugar, meditating, and the first thing you want to do: tell someone. Share it, post it, announce, "Day 1 of my transformation." But here's the truth: some things grow best in silence. Not because you're hiding, but because what's new is still fragile. And fragile things break easily under the weight of attention. Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm. Marcus Aurelius. Even one raised eyebrow, one dismissive joke, one offhand comment, "You won't last a week," can shake a habit that hasn't yet taken root. That's why the Stoics practiced private repetition. No status updates. No external validation. Just presence again and again. I once met a man named Thomas. He ran every morning before sunrise. No selfies, no fitness apps, no streak counts. He also studied a foreign language at night, quietly. After a year, he ran a half marathon, held a full conversation in that new language. When people asked how, he just smiled. He hadn't done anything dramatic. He had simply stayed when others stopped. This is what people miss about habits. They don't need momentum, they need roots. When you perform for others, even subconsciously, you shift your focus from being consistent to being seen as consistent. That's the trap. Because then, if no one's watching, you lose the drive. But if your habit is tied to your identity, not your audience, you keep going even in silence. So here's what to do. Tie your habit to something real and daily. After your morning coffee, write 1 sentence. After brushing your teeth, read 1 paragraph. 1 push-up, 1 glass of water, 1 page, that's it. Small enough to do, even when tired. Quiet enough to protect from interruption. Powerful enough to change you over time. You don't need streaks. You don't need applause. You don't need motivation Mondays. You need 1 small step. Every single day. And when the world feels loud and your effort invisible, remember, the warrior trains without a crowd. Because applause isn't the goal. Mastery is. And mastery is built in silence. Lesson 7. Take small steps every day. You've made the promise before. This is it. I'm starting today. But then, you wait. You wait for the right moment, for the right mood, for the right Monday. And while you're waiting, the spark quietly dies. That's how most dreams end, not with failure, but with delay. We trick ourselves into thinking that big change needs big action, that if it's not massive, it doesn't count. But the Stoics knew better. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Epictetus. Here's the problem. Most people stop at the saying. They announce their goals. They visualize the destination, but they never take the first real step. Why? Because saying it feels like progress. It gives you that hit of satisfaction. You get praised for the plan, not the execution. But real growth? It happens quietly. Not with a leap, but with a single step. There's a friend of mine, Benjamin. Brilliant mind. Tons of ideas. But he had a habit of starting and never finishing. One day, he did something different. No social media posts. No declarations. Just a 5 a.m. alarm and 1 hour of focused work every morning. No matter what, rain or shine, tired or ready. He showed up, day after day. 6 months later, he launched his first finished app. No launch party. No viral moment. Just results. When I asked what changed, he said, "I stopped performing, I just walked." That's it. Not running. Not sprinting. Just walking every day. Because the Stoic warrior doesn't wait for motivation. He doesn't need the stars to align. He takes the next step, however small, because that's who he is. So here's your challenge. Don't aim for greatness. Aim for continuation. Read 3 pages. Walk for 10 minutes. Write 1 honest sentence. Then, repeat. Don't share it. Don't wait to feel inspired. Just keep your word to yourself today. Because when you look back months from now, you'll realize it wasn't one grand moment that changed your life. It was 1,000 small ones, taken while no one was watching. That's the Stoic path. Not dramatic, not loud, but undeniable. Lesson 8. Focus only on what truly moves you forward. Have you ever caught yourself doing something just to be seen? Posting that win before it's even real. Crafting the perfect caption before you've even done the work. It feels harmless, it even feels productive. But deep down you know it's not. You're not building. You're performing. And that's the slow death of progress. If you wish to be loved, love. If you wish to be honored, live honorably. Seneca. In the same way, if you wish to grow, stop chasing the spotlight. Start chasing the substance. Modern life rewards the image of effort over the reality of it. We decorate our goals, we package our process. We look like we're evolving while standing still. But real growth? It's quiet. It happens in messy drafts, in deleted workouts, in early mornings when no one claps. It's not cute, it's not post-worthy. It's just real. There's someone I knew, Jonathan. An engineer. No online presence. No motivational quotes. No grind reels. He spent 3 years quietly working on open source projects after his shift ended each day. Weekends, he wasn't out chasing validation. He was building. And one day, someone from a European tech lab stumbled upon his work. They didn't care about his follower count. They saw value and made an offer that changed his life. That's what happens when you focus on what truly moves you forward. You don't need to impress. You need to improve. Ask yourself, would I still do this if no one ever knew? If there were no likes, no praise, no eyes watching, would I still show up? If the answer is yes, you're on the right path. Because the Stoic doesn't move for applause. He moves with purpose. He knows his time is precious. His energy is sacred. And his results? They'll speak when it's time. So stop rehearsing. Start refining. And when the world finally sees what you've built in silence, they won't just be impressed. They'll be moved. Because your life won't be a presentation. It'll be proof. Lesson 9. Protect your time ruthlessly. Have you ever woken up and felt behind before the day even begins? Before your feet hit the floor, your phone lights up. 5 missed calls, 27 unread messages, notifications screaming for your attention. Just like that, your day isn't yours anymore. You didn't plan it. You didn't agree to it. You just surrendered. People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy. Seneca. We guard our wallets, our cars, our passwords. But our time? We give it away like it's worthless. We answer every email. We say yes to every request. We scroll and scroll and scroll until the day evaporates. And by nightfall, we feel empty. Not because we were lazy, but because we spent the whole day working on things that don't matter. The Stoic doesn't live like that. He doesn't just manage time, he defends it like a warrior. He understands that time is more than minutes on a clock. It's life force. It's energy. It's attention. And once it's gone, it's gone. There's a man I once met, Adam, a tech strategist. Always on, always responding, always drained. Until one day, his sleep shattered, his focus vanished, his anxiety peaked. So he made one change. No phone for the first 90 minutes of the day. That's it. No notifications, no messages, no noise. Just breath, clarity, purpose. And it transformed everything. You don't need to disappear. You just need to reclaim what's already yours. Try this. Choose 2 sacred blocks of time every day. Mark them. Defend them. During those hours, no texts, no calls, no digital chaos. Just you and the work that reflects your values. And if people ask why you're slow to respond, tell them the truth. Because I've stopped treating my life like it belongs to everyone else. You're not rude. You're focused. You're not unavailable. You're intentional. The world will pull at you all day long, but you must choose what deserves your presence. Not everything deserves a reply. Not every ping deserves your peace. Protect your time like it's gold, because it is. Lesson 10. Guard your mental energy like a warrior. Have you ever made it to noon and already felt exhausted without lifting a finger? No workouts, no physical strain, just drained. That's not your body giving out. That's your mind, bleeding energy from 1,000 invisible cuts. A passive-aggressive text. A pointless comment online. A conversation you keep replaying in your head. One sarcastic glance, one harmless scroll. And suddenly, your inner battery is on 2%. We don't fall apart from effort. We fall apart from exposure. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. In a world full of noise, your mind becomes a sponge. And if you don't guard it, it absorbs everything. The fears, the chaos, the opinions. Until there's no room left for your own voice. That's why the Stoic builds mental filters. Not walls to keep the world out, but gates to choose what gets in. Think of your attention like currency. Spend it recklessly, and you'll be broke by noon. Spend it intentionally, and you can build an empire of clarity. Start small. Don't touch your phone for the first hour of the day. No emails. No social feeds. No opinions. Just you, your breath, and your own direction. That's not laziness. That's leadership. I remember a man named Ethan left a 6-figure job to open a small bakery. Everyone called him crazy. He didn't explain, he didn't defend. He just got up at 4 a.m., kneaded dough, and served with quiet joy. 3 years later, he owned 3 thriving stores. Not because he proved them wrong, but because he didn't waste his energy trying. He walked the path instead of debating it. Mental energy is your life force. Don't leak it into petty arguments, useless scrolling, or emotional drama that isn't yours to carry. Choose what you read. Choose who you listen to. And, most importantly, choose what thoughts you dwell on. You don't need to fight every battle. You just need to guard your focus. Because when your mind is clear, your direction sharpens. And when your energy is protected, you don't just survive the day. You own it. Lesson 11. Silence lets you hear what others miss. Have you ever sat in a room full of people and noticed something no one else did? Not because someone said it, but because they didn't. A pause too long, a glance too sharp, a laugh that didn't reach the eyes. That's the power of silence. It's not just the absence of noise. It's the presence of awareness. In a world obsessed with quick replies and loud opinions, silence becomes a superpower. The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing. Marcus Aurelius. Wrestling requires anticipation. It's not about moving gracefully. It's about knowing when to hold still, when to feel the weight of what's coming. Silence sharpens that instinct. Most people speak to respond, but the Stoic listens to understand. And in doing so, they see things others miss entirely. There's a youth coach I once met, Darren. He didn't shout on the field, didn't bark instructions like the others. He watched, he wrote, he waited. And his players loved him, not because he talked the most, but because, in his stillness, they felt seen. He noticed the kid who was trying too hard, the one pretending to be fine, the one holding back tears under a helmet. His silence wasn't distance, it was devotion. Because silence reveals the truth about others and about yourself. When you talk too much, your mind becomes a shaky hand over a telescope. It blurs the image. But when you slow down, when you steady yourself, clarity returns. You see who's faking confidence. You feel who's hiding pain. You sense when something's off, long before it breaks. That's not magic. That's mastery. So try it today. In your next conversation, pause before replying. Listen not just to the words, but to the space between them. Watch instead of react. Wait instead of fill. You'll notice things that were always there, just hidden behind the noise. Because when the world rushes to speak, the quiet one doesn't fall behind. They step ahead, with understanding, clarity, and calm power. Lesson 12. Face challenges alone. Have you ever gone through something so heavy, yet said nothing? You still showed up. You went to work, took care of your family, smiled when needed. But inside, a storm was raging. No status updates, no long phone calls. Just silence. And survival. And strangely, that silence didn't make you weaker. It made you stronger. No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. Seneca. We live in a culture that tells us to share everything, to vent, to explain. But some battles aren't meant for a stage. Some lessons don't need an audience. Because not all pain needs to be performed. Some pain needs to be processed. There's a woman I knew, Anna. She lost her mother and said nothing. She fed her kids, went to work, paid the bills. People called her strong. But she wasn't performing strength. She was practicing it. 3 months later, she began journaling. Not to vent, but to understand. And that's when she realized, I wasn't just grieving my mom, I was grieving the version of me who always leaned on someone else. That's what silence gave her. Clarity she couldn't find in words. The Stoics never said, don't feel. They said, feel deeply, but don't be ruled by it. To be resilient is not to numb. It's to feel everything and still keep moving. You won't always have someone to lean on. Not every dark season comes with a rescue. And that's okay, because you are your own lifelong companion. And if you can walk through your worst nights alone, without applause, without a hand to hold, you'll carry a light inside that doesn't flicker in storms. That's not loneliness. That's self-mastery. So the next time life hits you hard, don't rush to post it. Don't beg the world to understand. Breathe, stand tall, and face it. Because when you endure in silence, you don't come out the same. You come out unshakable. Lesson 13. Stillness sharpens your thinking. When was the last time you sat in complete silence? No phone, no music, no background noise, just you and your thoughts. If that sounds uncomfortable, you're not alone. Most people think they're thinking, but what they're really doing is reacting to messages, to comments, to endless content, to pressure from the outside world. They mistake constant motion for clarity. And that's why their mind feels like a browser with 37 tabs open, draining energy, offering nothing real. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Epictetus. And that applies not just to others, but to yourself. If your mind is always echoing someone else's opinion, how can you ever hear your own? That's why silence is sacred. Not just as rest, but as a forge. Because in stillness, new questions rise. Does this really matter? Am I solving the right problem? Is this goal mine or someone else's dream? There's a woman I heard of, Rachel, from a small town in Ireland. For 4 years, she woke up at 5 a.m. to study AI and logistics. No blog, no online bragging, no podcast appearances. Then one day, a supply chain crisis hit her factory. And Rachel, quiet Rachel, stepped in. She didn't give a TED talk. She gave a solution crafted in silence over years of focused thought. No noise, just results. Because that's what stillness gives you, precision. It strips away the performative thinking. And it gives you real mental clarity, the kind that builds systems, makes hard decisions, and sees through illusion. So here's a challenge. Spend 1 hour a day, no phone, no talking, no input. Just sit with your mind. Think, reflect, recalibrate. It won't feel productive at first, but over time, it becomes your superpower. Because when your mind is forged in silence, you don't just think better, you move better, you decide better, you live with intention. And the world will notice, not because you shout, but because you act with uncommon clarity. Lesson 14. Let results speak for you. Have you ever looked at someone calm, quiet, and consistent, and thought, I don't know exactly what they're doing, but I know it's something real? That's the power of silent discipline. In a world drowning in noise, in updates, announcements, hashtags, and humble brags, there's something magnetic about a person who doesn't need to talk. They don't post their routines. They don't live stream their grind. They just do the work. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. B1. Marcus Aurelius. The Stoics didn't care for image. They didn't campaign for validation. They believed that excellence proves itself without applause, without performance, because when you let your results speak, they say everything that words cannot. Take Emma, for example, a quiet barista in a small town. No one knew that after every shift she studied finance. No one saw her investing tips into online courses. No one clapped when she chose studying over going out. 3 years later, she launched a financial consulting service that changed lives. No announcements, no launch party, just impact. And when people asked, how did you do it? She didn't tell a story. She was the story. That's what happens when you stop narrating your life and start becoming it. You protect your energy. You stop leaking momentum into updates, and you begin to move with real power. Not the kind that seeks attention, but the kind that commands respect. Because here's the truth. Anyone can talk about what they're building, but when you build in silence, you create something that doesn't need defending. So choose one thing, one goal, one habit, and guard it like it matters. Not for followers, not for fame, but because you know it's the right way. And when you feel unseen, good. That means your energy hasn't been diluted. It means your roots are still growing deep and strong. Because what's built in private becomes unshakable in public. And when it's time, you won't need to say a word. They'll know, because you became. Conclusion: your path needs no proof. Choose one habit, one goal, one direction, and guard it like a flame in the middle of a storm. You don't need to explain what you're building. You don't need to convince anyone. One day, when you walk into the light, you won't need to say a word. They'll see it in your presence. They'll feel it in your actions. That's the quiet power of disciplined living. If this message spoke to you, let it stay with you. Live it, breathe it, no performance, no spotlight. And if you're walking this path too, drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe for more silent strength. Let's keep building in silence together.